Good morning. Good morning, Konstantinos. Good morning, Darren. How are you guys doing?
All good,
Hello, both
D.
guys. I'm great. What about you?
Doing good, man.
Oh, perfect. Amazing. All right, so we have a very special guest today, Konstantinos, in our LinkedIn Marketing Mastery. We're really glad you accepted our invitation, Konstantinos. It's an absolute pleasure to having you here. I'm really excited to know more about what you've been doing. I've been studying you for the past week, and really had a lot of fun with the research. We're gonna be digging into that and the amount of followers you've amassed on social media in the last few years have been something short of a miracle. I haven't seen many people do that, and I've been in this for a few years as well. I would like to ask you about your story, but I'm gonna let some people join because we're also live
hmm
apart from the recorded episode. So I'll hold on that one for a little bit. But maybe let's start with a bit of what you're doing right now. Like, are you putting more attention on LinkedIn, or is LinkedIn still just?
Well, we're trying to grow in every single platform that we are not really dominant at, let's say. So we have focused a lot in short video format the last 3, 4 years with the explosion of TikTok, obviously, when, the pandemic started. So I decided, that short video is the key for any business, anyone who wants to build a personal brand or a brand or to sell online or to tell their stories or whatever. That was the medium right there. As a marketeer, I couldn't ignore it, because it's all about attention, and attention was all over short video and specifically on TikTok 3, 4 years back. So I would be an ignorant to let this pass as a marketeer. And then I went all in for 6 months. I told to myself, okay, I'll try to adjust my content, which was back then all about long video on YouTube and blog posting because we were trying to lead generate for our agency. But then, I told myself, okay, try to be more valuable in a shorter time of period in order to make it, relevant for people on TikTok who want to consume fast content, and get something valuable out of something that you're going to say. I readjusted also my target audience because back then it was only six, seven figure businesses. I was only talking about sophisticated topics about marketing and digital marketing because I've been a marketeer the last 20 plus years. So I have a lot of things to share that are more sophisticated than the average topics that you see on my short video format. But then I realized that there is a much greater opportunity for a broader audience of people who are digital enthusiasts, people who would like to learn more about, what this is called, how people make money through their mobile apps, through their phones, from a beach or whatever. And then, I made it a bit broader as a theme. And 4 years later, we have the magnitude of people that you see. And now we're trying to build also LinkedIn and Twitter, since every single platform is very different. It requires different steps. Doesn't really matter if you have an audience to the other platform so much or not. People don't enjoy traveling from one platform to the other. So we are really trying to make it, work as we would do if we started, from zero on any platform.
Yeah, that's amazing. Actually, yeah, you mentioned something really important there. When I first started looking at your content as a marketer myself, I saw, okay, this is just another guy who's talking about some AI tools and stuff. And then I started digging deeper. I saw an interview of yours, and I realized, wow, but no, he actually knows what he's doing. He's a good marketer. He's been for a long time at this, and you can see when you talk that you know what you're talking about. So I found very interesting that you are able to separate from this and put this very broader topics out there that everyone wants to see, and that impressed me a lot. That's amazing. So now you're just focusing on expanding from the platforms that you're in right now. And for perspective, Konstantinos has 2.2 million followers on TikTok, which, if I'm not mistaken, you got in like 1 year or so.
18 months, let's say.
And then you have another 800,000 on LinkedIn, Instagram, and 60,000 on YouTube. That's incredible. So like you have a lot of exposure. And so now the logical step, yes, it's to go to other platforms and expand that reach. And I love what you're doing, and we're going to be talking a little bit about that. I'd like to know how you look at these videos, at these short form content, and the thought process behind it. But I also want to know what brought you to this, like as a marketer. First of all, what's your story? Why did you become a marketer in the first place?
Well, that was something that came pretty much naturally. My first passion actually was music. So I used to start playing the piano when I was 5 for 12 years. So I had this kind of, let's say, artistic side of mine somewhere in my DNA. But at the same time, I loved business. I loved, action. I loved, trying to build something out of zero. I think my sports background played a role about that, and my family as well, because they come from a business background. They're not entrepreneurs, but they are in this marketplace in general. So I knew that somehow I wanted to do something a bit more creative in business. I wouldn't be in finance. I wouldn't be in a bank, working in a bank like my father, but I would love to do something a bit more creative. So entrepreneurship, bringing ideas to life. I had many ideas as a person. I have my creativity is something natural. So I knew that marketing is probably my direction. Nobody knows when they're 15 or 16, obviously, but at least, I had this kind of direction in my head. So I studied that. I took my MBA. I worked for almost a decade in big companies like Procter & Gamble and Diageo as a marketing manager, as a brand manager. I learned a lot about structured marketing, about doing international business, about project management. And that obviously helped me in my next step, which was, to leave everything behind and start from zero and see what I can offer into this beautiful environment called digital entrepreneurship. The startup reality, the solopreneur reality, building an agency, building a company out of zero, from zero. So I did a bunch of things the last decade in this field. Started a couple of companies, invested in some others, got some investment from some other startups that failed. And then I realized that, above everything, you need to have an umbrella that really protects everything you do as an entrepreneur. And that's how I really realized that, building a personal brand is something that I should be focusing on, especially after I start exposing myself in video format. And I realized that it was something that I could do pretty well. So, I just did the reps. And 3 years later, it brought me here. I never imagined that, but obviously, the more reps you do, great things happen. And if you have the background to support that, you have nothing to worry about.
Oh yeah, absolutely. How did it feel to actually drop everything and from your corporate business? Yeah, from what you explained, like you knew already that that's not what you wanted to do, but how did it feel to just drop everything and decide, all right, I'm gonna do this thing myself. I don't need these companies, and I'm gonna build my own thing.
Well, it's a gut feeling that really pushes you towards a direction or towards trying something. So you have a natural tendency to, to explore a field that you find interesting. That's how people act out of curiosity, right? They have some kind of tendency. They want to try something, they want to experiment. I was always getting excited about people who were self-made, that they were creating something out of zero. They had an idea and they brought that to life. Technology was something always exciting for me. I was the first kid at school that had a PC back in the day. So I knew that at some point I would leave this kind of very specific and very limiting environment of working in a corporate world, in the corporate world, doing specific things, having a 9 to 5. I was way creative and way unorthodox as a professional for this kind of field. So it was a natural tendency for me, right? It was like this or nothing, to be honest.
I
So
feel you. Yeah.
I knew one way or the other. And to be honest, that was for many years in my head. My first job actually was entrepreneurial, not a job that I got. So I started a business when I was 19 years old. It was a touristic advertising agency. And then, I realized that I need to have some more experience to make it work. So it was a natural tendency, but I backed it up with experience by trying different things, by collecting different kind of flavors from different parts of the world. I also had some really big failures along this journey, and those are really great rewards, to be honest. Those are really some things that you need to keep very close to your heart, because that leads you to better places always.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So now you have your own business, an agency, right? A marketing agency, and and TikTok comes along, and you start. How did you come up with this? All right, I need to join the bandwagon of the short content in video format. And were you already recording videos, or you just started getting yourself in front of a camera because you knew that this was going to be the future?
To be honest, I'm an introvert, so creating videos for me was very uncomfortable as a thing. So, but when I started my marketing agency, which was a contingency plan for me, was also not planned. I never had the intention to create a marketing agency, but it was mostly a contingency plan to fund my startup that was running out of money back then, 6-7 years ago, when Simply Digital came to life. And then I realized that in order to differentiate versus other people that had a marketing agency, which is a field that has a very low barrier to entry, right? Everybody can really claim themselves digital marketeers, build a website overnight, and next day, claim themselves as digital marketeers. We're the best marketeers in the world or whatever. You can claim whatever you want. Nobody can say nothing, right? You get a couple of freelancers and off you go. You start having a business. So I realized that in order to differentiate into this highly competitive environment, I need to put myself out, speak with my knowledge, because that was something that cannot be replicated, my background and my experience. And the only way to do it is become the face of the brand, become the face of the business. And guess what? You need to make videos. So I started creating long videos in Greek, which is my native language, and I did it in the Greek YouTube environment, which was a Mickey Mouse kind of environment. So people talking in business and marketing 7 years back were very few. And guess what? The views were always also very few. But still, they got me some leads, because, the very, very few people that really had the interest to search for those topics found very useful what I have to say. And that naturally brought me leads, brought me businesses that wanted to work with Konstantinos and what their business offers. So I was quite ready when the TikTok thing came up. I had an experience of 2-3 years being exposed in front of the camera, creating videos, and difficult videos, because long videos on YouTube is way more difficult than creating short videos.
Absolutely.
So I was really exposed into something way more difficult. But then I transitioned in English, which is not my mother language, is not my native language. So I had my doubts when I did it, right? I didn't know if I would be accepted, if my accent would be a barrier, if I can do this TikTok thing, if I would be humiliated as a 38-year-old back then, trying to do things on TikTok, which is a platform for youngsters. That was the narrative back then. So yeah, I was ready at the right time to grab the opportunity because I was exposed previously in creating videos.
Yeah, I understand you. I've done some YouTube myself. Obviously, this video is going to go on YouTube as well. And I understand the difference between producing a video for YouTube, like a long form video for YouTube, and a short form video. There's a lot of production, and keeping the person's attention for that long is not an easy feat, especially nowadays. So now, when you join TikTok, did you know already what type of content you had to create? Were you like, from the get-go, you knew exactly what you were doing, or like you just started posting videos and you realized, all right, this works, this doesn't work, and you started iterating from there? I'm assuming that's it, but I would like to know.
Listen, when anybody enters any platform for any niche, they can only make a research and see what works for other creators in the similar niche, right? But this is only a starting point. You're not supposed to copy anybody. You're there to find your own voice, find your own, direction, and bring out your authenticity and experiences. But obviously, having an understanding and see what works in the platform and understanding a bit the culture of the platform is really Very important in order to have a head start, right? And then the other part is to be open to experiment and be open to feel uncomfortable and do things that might feel cringy some years later. Now I watch back my first videos and I feel a bit cringy for my first videos, but it's a necessary step because, I would never understand what works for me because, every single person is like is a personality that has its own traits and its own X factors that only the audience can understand, right? So even if you do the same videos with me, the same consistency, the same years, you might have a very different success or even a bigger one because, relate with some people more than others. It's a matter of character, right? Like actors or like animations. People love a specific animation, some other people love another animation. But you can never know that beforehand. You need to get the feedback from the people, right? Which many times is very negative. You might get a lot of hating in the platforms. You might get some humiliating moments, but the price is way bigger to stop doing that. That was what I was heading to. I saw the price. I understood the opportunity. I came early. I came in a very, very favorable moment because of the pandemic. And I really grabbed the opportunity. And 6 months later, I really saw some incredible results on TikTok.
Was TikTok your first, you would call a big success follower-wise?
Yeah. So 1 year before I jump on TikTok, I did the transition towards English content with Instagram, but I was doing that through carousels. So it was the carousel era that many creators in my field were creating, some beautiful, seamless carousels with tons of value, too much creativity in them, some masterpieces that, required 3-4 hours of work before you put it out in the platform, and they were doing that daily. And that was the moment that I realized that my content was very poor on Instagram. So I had to step up my effort to create something way more valuable that I was doing back then, setting simple quotes or, very amateurish videos or doing the average things that most businesses do. Let's create a post and put it out there, right? I realized that it's way more than that and the opportunity is way bigger than that. The reach was nothing like the one that we see here now, or when Reels started. We didn't have Reels back then. So you had to do a lot of heavy lifting, a lot of work, and a lot of manual engagement with other people in your community to start building a tribe. So I don't know, when TikTok started, I was like 3,000-4,000 followers on Instagram, and that was it. I was nowhere close to being a big creator or anything like that. But really, TikTok trained me into the short video format, and then just stopped doing carousels, and I repurposed my content on every single other platform, and it worked pretty great as well.
Oh yeah, I feel you. Especially since Instagram started copying TikTok with the Reels, so it made sense, right?
Yeah.
And but I know what you mean because we have on LinkedIn we've had the carousel trend as well, and I was never a person for carousels because I'm not a designer and I don't feel comfortable. It's a waste of time for me to create a carousel and a waste of resources to get someone to create a carousel for me.
Yeah.
Darren, on the other hand, is a designer, and for him, it makes sense to be creating carousels. But the video format for me is I feel comfortable with it, so I know exactly what you're talking about. And for those listening to this and thinking, oh yeah, but Konstantinos, he managed to get all these followers because he joined at the right time on TikTok. It doesn't matter if you joined at the right time or not. Okay, that can be a bit of a help, but then if you don't have the right content, what people want to see, you will never get people to follow you. You don't get 2 million people to follow you if you're not giving them what they want, if you're not giving them exactly what they want to watch. And another thing I noticed is you are talking a lot about AI tools. So, and I understand that you use a lot of AI in your business now. Do you want to touch a bit on that? On how do you incorporate AI into your business? And did you start sharing? What was your initial content AI related, or it was completely apart from that?
I mean, AI is in our lives the last 1 year at the level that it is right now with ChatGPT and everything. I mean, ChatGPT really started this revolution. AI was there for many years, but nowhere near what it is right now with, thousands of different tools coming out every single day. So obviously you cannot ignore that. right? As a
Yeah.
marketeer, as someone who is in the tech business, you cannot really avoid talking about AI because it's in the spotlight right now. So you need to be ahead, you need to be on top, and especially if you have the biggest digital marketing channel globally, as I have on TikTok and Instagram, I cannot stay behind. I need to drive some of the things that are happening on the platform. So when I started, I was all about, talking about digital marketing tips, websites that I knew that people found useful for their business that can really help them do more productive things or be more organized or more professional or stuff like that. So really when I started TikTok, all I did was to go into my bookmarks that had, tons of different stuff that I had saved all these years and start talking about my bookmarks. That guys, I use this plugin to do that. I use this for my agency. This is how I do my graphics. This is what I do. I really started talking about everything I know, everything I do without any filter. I didn't keep anything secret. That was the secret. So, and that's very contradicting to what most people do with their content because they're always trying to hold some information, because they believe that this is going to be stolen by the competition or that, it will really hurt their paid services or whatever. It's not the case. And I'm always trying to communicate that to people that the more you share, the more benefits you get.
Absolutely.
So yeah, the more I did it, the more I realized that there's no such thing as much value in sharing something. You can always share more. And yeah, that was always my case, trying to be even more valuable in the next post.
That's beautiful. And actually it's quite simple if you think about it. It's not easy, obviously, and you would attest to that better than anyone, but it's simple. I mean, as you mentioned, you just grabbed your bookmarks and you start sharing. I mean, I've been in the digital space for quite some time as well myself, and I've failed my share of businesses, and I've noticed like that one of the things that we do accumulate is the knowledge of all the tools that can be used to do something. So the value of sharing this publicly cannot be understated. This is really, really powerful. And I mean, there's a whole industry around this. It's called affiliate marketing, right?
Yeah.
Most of these tools live from affiliates. So yeah, that's amazing. What you've done is really impressive.
And I had to be simple, right? My name is Simply Digital, so that's what that's what I'm all about.
Yeah,
Simplifying the overwhelming things that most people find in the digital space because they find it very overwhelming. Very
that's true.
overwhelming. For the average mind, those things are very overwhelming. And my bet was because that's how I am as a person. I am someone who really loves simplicity, straight to the point things, to simplify complicated things for the average person to understand it. So I found that, this is my edge. And that's how I
Yeah.
named my company also, Simply Digital.
Yeah, watching your videos, I mean, you also make it fun. You make it fun to watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're actually learning a few tips that might help you, but it's fun. So you mentioned that you started your marketing business, like your marketing agency, to save your other business. What happened to that one?
Right now, it's not online. So I have created back in 2015 a sports startup. So I used to be an athlete. I used to be a pro athlete, actually. I realized that there is a gap in the market for 99% of the population, the sports population, that there are people that really cannot really find help to chase their sports dreams, to find somebody to support them, to be recognized, to be discovered by talent experts. So I wanted to find a way to help them. And I created a scouting system, a recruiting system for talents. So we tried to quantify somehow the sports talent through an algorithm, through a scoring system. And then we brought them together with the experts, the people that really make all the things move in the sports industry. We got some investments, got some rewards, we got some seed funding. We had some great user base at the beginning. But then, with startups, especially when you create something completely new, things are really difficult to keep the momentum, to keep the engagement, to find the right monetization tactics for something that is not really established or something that somebody has done before. So we needed a lot of money back then. We couldn't find it. And that's how I thought that, okay, let's park it for a while. Let's put it in the garage and see if I can really fund it, 1 year later or 6 months later, so I can really create something new. This didn't happen because, I didn't raise enough money through Simply Digital. Simply Digital was something that, especially for the first couple of years, was just, funding me as a person to continue working and not get a job. So, yeah, so it didn't really come out of the garage yet, but you never know.
Right. Now, I think you mentioned that something there that I might understand it as one of your advantages. So I'm getting here like one of your secrets, let's put it this way, is to share everything you know. Don't hold back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the second one, you mentioned you were a pro athlete and is your competitive mindset part of this, your performance mindset, your training in performance? Would you attribute your success to this as well?
Absolutely. I mean, especially the discipline and the ability to, keep doing the reps without seeing the result is something that you do a lot in sports. So especially in my sport, martial arts, in many cases, you might prepare yourself for 2 years, work out 4 hours per day for a tournament, and, in 2 minutes to be out. That's it.
Yeah.
And you need to try again in 2 years. So that's a very, very hard feeling to handle, but it really teaches you a lot. Or even to learn a new move, a new form, the kata, as we say it in the karate language.
Yeah.
So you need to repeat movements endlessly in front of a mirror so many times that it looks ridiculous, but it makes sense. And that's how you learn your brain to not expect the gratification instantly, right? In something that you do. And this is very important in entrepreneurship, in content creation, in everything related to business.
Absolutely.
And in life in general, I would say. So that was a trait that really played a big role. And if you see the Forbes 500, the top companies in the Forbes list, you're going to see that the CEOs are 80% of them are either they have a sports background or they're military background. That says something, right?
Yeah, we have Darren with a military background as well here. I have a little bit of both, but not on the level that you guys have. Darren, do you think that your military background played a role in you becoming an entrepreneur and bringing you to where you are right now?
Yeah. So when I was, when you got the military mindset, the civilian mindset isn't the same. So, people don't understand proper teamwork and things like that. And I just found it very difficult. And I wanted to be in a position where I was in control of everything rather than being controlled at that point. So it's been, I think the military definitely changed my mindset of how I wanted to approach things.
Do you think this wanting to be in control is something that played a part in your life as well, Konstantinos, to become an entrepreneur and bring you to where you are right now?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, entrepreneurship is not for everybody, right? It's difficult. It requires to become things that, for some people are really uncomfortable to lead, to build a team, to have no safety nets, to have no limitations in where you go or where you can go. Some people need a framework, need a guidance, need a boss. Some people they don't have this kind of aspiration to, to solve problems, to leave their footprint out there in the world. They don't have that. They just need a job, some vacation time, solid payday, and that's it. And they're happy and they just want to do other stuff. And that's fine. I mean, everybody's different. Everybody has different aspirations. But for me, it was very important, the way that I saw myself and my purpose as a person and my potential as a person couldn't be anywhere else. Should be in entrepreneurship. And I understood what it takes because, I would be naive if I jumped into this boat that's called entrepreneurship, which is a long journey, and I didn't know what to expect, what traits I need to do, what are the difficulties, what are the risks, right? The people that mostly fail are people that come unprepared. They come without understanding what really entrepreneurship is and looks day to day, not on Instagram, day to day, in the shoes of a person who really built something from zero. That's a very different story.
Yeah, you need to be prepared to fail, right? I mean, because we're trained not to be afraid of failure, but you can't succeed in business if you don't fail. I mean, it's just part of it. And
Exactly.
And you
There's
mentioned
something I
doing
want
the
to ask
reps.
there,
And
Fran, before you move on from that
go
point,
ahead.
something I want to quickly ask is like recently I went through a hard period of considering quitting LinkedIn, and I had if it wasn't for my close network like Fran and a couple of close connections talking me through that little pit, it was literally a 2 or 3 week period, I would have probably gone and left the platform completely and gone to focus on something else. So like you're at a level now where you're very big on social media, especially other platforms outside of LinkedIn. Like how do you manage to get through those points where, you know, especially earlier on when you were trying to grow, did you have a network? Did you have people that you could lean on for advice? Or did you just try to grind through it on your own?
No, I didn't have any help on social media. Nothing. But as I say always, social media are great because are social. So you can really go out and I mean, we just met on a live. We established a connection. Now I know you by your face. I know you by your name. I know what you do. I can DM you next day and tell you, you know what? I saw what you're doing. We had a discussion, and now I have an idea about us collaborating somehow, right? So that's the great part about social media. It's not about the followers. It's not about the millions or anything like that. It's about being intentional in making connections that really matter and do that, you know, with authenticity. Hi, Darren. This is Konstantinos. I saw a couple of posts. Don't try to sell. Like my DM is full of people trying to sell me something on the get go on LinkedIn. Hi, Konstantinos. We are this company. Buru buru buru. 500 words later. Nice to meet you. I don't give a fuck, right? Nobody gives, and you will never establish a meaningful connection or even a business connection by doing that. The way to do it is either cut to the chase, like, you know what, but personally, Darren, I saw what you're doing. I saw your website. I saw that you have a course, and I have some ideas. You would like to talk about it? Specifically, cut to the chase, right? But do it in a personal way, not take the same message and send it to 500 people, right? Doesn't work like that. Know the person you talk to, but know them. Do some due diligence. Understand what they're all about, what their struggles, how you can come and help them with that. So if you do that on social media, you do that like 5 meaningful connections per day or 10 or 20, this can really change your business life. It might not change your follower life, but it can change your business life. And we're here to do business, not to count the followers.
Absolutely. Yeah. And actually, it's really important that you, with the big following that you have, are mentioning this because it matters more that you put all that effort into that one person, into actually understanding them, and make it about them. The message you're gonna send them, make it about them, not about yourself, and how you can help them, and that you are mentioning this and make that one-to-one connection, not about the numbers, because that's what I see most people doing on LinkedIn. Oh, I'm just gonna send even more connections, even without a note or whatever, and if they accept, then I'll just pitch to them, and the more pitches I make, eventually I'll be accepted. That I feel that's how most people think, instead of focusing on that one connection. And then, okay, if that one didn't work, then go for the next one, but put all the effort into that one. That's how I see it. And I love it that you mentioned that, because we get distracted with this. No, he has 2 million followers. Of course he can make it, but you're still focused on the right things. So I hope people listen to what you're saying here, because this is I find this is the key to doing business, is actual networking, actually meeting people and being interested in them and seeing how you can collaborate.
That's it.
I love it. And especially LinkedIn. I mean, that's what LinkedIn is about. LinkedIn is a networking platform. It's specifically, and a friend of ours who's been our guest in the past, Perry Vanderboom, he says a lot, LinkedIn is a giant networking event. And that's Perry Van Beek. Oh, yeah, sorry. I messed up his surname. He says LinkedIn is a giant networking event, and that's what we should be doing on LinkedIn, networking, not trying to sell or pitching to each other. We lose track of what we do in real life, right? If I go to a networking event right now, I'm not going to go and hey, Konstantinos, here's my business card. Do you want to buy my service?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we lose track of it, you know, like, and
exactly.
yeah.
That's why I never go to networking events. Never. I get fatally bored in them. I'm not good in meeting and greeting. I hate that. I don't even have a business card to start with. And I'm always like to people, guys, what do you want to happen in the networking event? Do you have anything specific? Because most people go without an agenda. Like, okay, let's meet and greet, exchange some cards. I've been to hundreds of them, right? I didn't really stop liking them because of out of a fantasy. I've been in many of them. And I saw that zero things happen during them. Zero. So I love intentional things. As I said before with the connections, like, okay, what do I need? What I'm looking for, right? Back in my startup days, I was looking for an investor. I was looking for some athletes to endorse my effort, famous athletes. So I started exploring LinkedIn contacts, creating a meaningful pitch that was different for every single one of them. And that's how I got funding, by finding the right investor that was focusing on sports, but I did my due diligence, I did my exploration, I found the key stakeholders from different funds, I made my due diligence to understand what they're looking for in specific startups, right? And that's how you make intentional contacts on a networking event like LinkedIn. But if you don't have this intention, you can never do that. You just go and meet and greet and collect business cards without any meaning.
Yeah, that's funny. I got on a call with someone recently, and he was telling me, I used to just go to networking events, and I have a collection of 200 business cards, and you know what I got from them? Nothing. That's very interesting. All right, Konstantinos, do you want to give people some tips about content creation? Like, first of all, if you're happy with it, ideation. How do you come up with the topics that people want to see?
Well, there are specific things that we need to do in every niche, and there are different kind of topics for ideas for content. So first of all, it's all about your niche key topics, the keywords, the frequently asked questions from your audience. And those are not secret. If you go to Google, every single niche, fitness, nutrition, digital marketing, finance, affiliate marketing, every single one of them, if you go to Google, you will see related things, related topics that people are looking for answers, right? So all you got to do is take those topics and use some great hooks. I just created a post on Instagram about that with great hooks, great intros to start your videos with, and just start answering those key questions, those frequently asked questions to your audience with your own voice, your own experience, your own way that your brain works, right? Because that's what makes you different from me. Because the way that your brain works might be more appealing to explain something versus me. That's what makes us different. Otherwise, everybody has talked about everything before. Nobody can talk about anything new anymore, right?
Sure.
So the only thing that differentiates us is our brain function, the way that our brain can really generate something and say something. So this is one, is what Google says, what are your main keywords. You can go to a keyword research tool or even to ChatGPT and say, hi, ChatGPT, act like a copywriter in this field, come up with 10 topics for my needs that would make a difference, and create 20 pieces of content with great hooks so I can really start creating short videos. That's it. And you're going to get 20, 40, 60 content ideas to start shooting videos. The second way is from your own experiences. So you are a professional and you want to build a personal brand. You want to talk about things that you have learned through this journey, right? So you can share experiences, you can share failures, you can share wins, case studies, things that you have been asked from your clients or your colleagues, and you know that are topics that really people are looking answers for, so you can start talking about your own experiences. And the third one, when you start creating videos, is to see what people are looking for from in the comment section, in your DMs, other creators, creating in this field, different kind of videos that you see that, are trending or they're really something that people love seeing in the platform, along with trending stuff, things that are happening right now. And you as an expert voice in the field, you need to start talking about if you want to establish yourself as an authority. So those are the three pillars, mostly for every content creator, for every platform. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, that's how we generate ideas.
Yeah, that's great. Actually, you mentioned there, and I don't know, most people don't know, but every time you go on Google and you just start typing something, the Google auto suggest what's suggesting. It's the most searched for topics. So if you don't know about this, this is literally Google is telling you this is what people are searching for. So if you go with that, that's a great way to start. You don't need any
Yeah.
expensive keyword tools or anything like this. All right, so that's ideation. And now you mentioned hooks, and everybody here on LinkedIn has heard about good hooks and all of this. What makes a good hook?
Something that really grabs the attention within 2-3 seconds. That's it. So it creates this feeling for you that I'm gonna miss out if I will skip this video, it will swipe, or oh, this is something I was looking for an answer for, so I need to stay and watch until the end because this guy convinced me in the first 3 seconds, or something that you see circulated and being talked a lot through social media or whatever, so it's very trending as a topic. So you need to hear something about it because you need to be informed about that as well, right? Like when a new series come on Netflix, like Game of Thrones or whatever, and you haven't watched it, so you feel like, I want to start watching because everybody's talking about that. So what the fuck is that? I need to get informed, right? And then it's all about finding the right words because since the beginning of advertising back in the Ogilvy era, it's all about picking the right words that really evoke emotions to people. Make people curious, they make them emotional, they make them hooked because you really get into their mind with specific words like numbers, putting the word you, creating negative words to create the opposite feeling. So there's a lot of psychology in the hooks as well. The only thing that you need to do in a great hook is to create a promise, right? That somebody needs to, I promise you that if you stay in this video, this is what you get. And then all you got to do it for the rest of the video is over-deliver this promise. Because if you under-deliver, they will not follow you, and probably they will skip your next video as well.
That's beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the things I see. A lot of people stop with the hooks, but you said it right. I mean, over-deliver. Because if you stop there, then they're not going to watch the next one. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And you're just going to annoy people. And actually, that triggers the algorithm as well, because if you don't deliver, then you'll get the thumbs down or whatever in that platform that you are at the moment, and they're telling the algorithm that this sucks.
You will not get the watch time. It's all about the watch time. So the completion, the percentage of completion of a video is really what says to the algorithm that this video needs to be seen by more people.
Yeah.
If 90% of people skip after the first 2-3 seconds, it's over. This video will not get more than 500 views or 300 views or whatever, right? But if 90% or 60% of people watch past the 10-second mark, that's a really good thing to start with and start getting more people, more eyeballs into the content because that's what the algorithm wants. They want people hooked in the platform. So they really align with your intention, right?
That's what I feel like most people miss. It's like I see people whining about the algorithms and stuff. What I don't understand is that it's what you said. I mean, that's what the algorithm wants. They want you. Because, I mean, their main objective as a business is to serve you ads, and they can't serve you ads if you're not there. So they need people on the platform.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
If you keep people on the platform, then you'll be rewarded for it, and that's amazing.
Yeah, people love finding an excuse and believing that they're shadow banned or that the platform is against them. Zuckerberg selected them personally. That Fran will not get viral ever because I say so. It's not like that. They don't give a shit. They don't know you. There's no such thing as shadow ban. And if there is, you will be informed by the platform, right? So you just need to upgrade what you do, become more valuable, study what content creation is, because it's not just about making a video. It's not just about making the reps. It's making them right. If I go to the gym and just do random reps of random stuff, I will not get the results that I believe that I should get 6 months later. So drop your entitlement as a content creator, start becoming better, start learning stuff, do the reps, do them correctly, learn from your mistakes, and there's no way you will not get better 6 months later.
That's amazing advice. That's really good. Yeah. See what works, what doesn't work and fix what's not working and do more of what works. That's it.
Yeah. It's as simple as that, actually.
Yeah. Look, now you've probably heard LinkedIn is already brought in the video feed. So we have LinkedIn going the same route as Instagram. We're gonna have some sort of reels, or I don't know how they're gonna call it. I don't know if you've had this
No,
on yours. You don't have the access to it. Darren, do you
not
have
yet.
access to the
No, not yet, mate.
the video feed?
I think it's slowly being rolled out, isn't it? So, it'll be the next couple of months, I'd imagine, where we start to see it come up.
I hope it gets rolled out because I'm ready for that. I would definitely, because I'm pretty sure they're gonna copy the same story. YouTube Shorts did that, even Pinterest did that with video pins. Everybody has done the same story. They will do the same. So I'm ready for that, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna pay me dividends on LinkedIn as well.
Oh, I'm sure it will. I mean, I'm curious to see how it's going to affect LinkedIn. I haven't been on Instagram for a long, long time. How did you see it affecting Instagram actually? Like when the Reels came up, how did the platform change? Like the usage of the platform as a user?
As a user or as a content creator?
No, as a user, because what we create depends on how users use the content, the platform, right?
Yeah, I think that all the platforms had to go from having people consume more of their following content to more content from people, random people, and get discovered, become more entertainment app. Like, especially TikTok, educated people in this kind of culture because TikTok for some time became the competitor of Netflix, not any other platform. So people were really sitting on the couch, having a movie at pause on their TV, right? And for the next 2 hours, swiping endlessly on their phone, watching random creators they've never seen before, so not from their following, consuming new content because it was entertaining and fast and changing from one topic to the other. That was what really built this kind of small attention span of people. They cannot really even watch a movie right now. And they got educated into a new habit, which is consuming new content from random accounts. That helped a lot of creators to get way more followers than they did before because the discoverability now is way bigger on Reels as well, right? But at the same time, it makes more difficult for you to see things from people that you follow because
Right.
the priority now for all platforms is the For You page, as we say it on TikTok, is the page that really helps people discover new stuff, new content, new creators, right? This is the priority, not your followers. So this changed a lot how people consume content and how people create content.
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, we had a question in our community recently about this. Someone who has access now to the video feed, and she was saying, right now I can only see videos of people I'm not connected with. And I did mention, like, from my understanding, I don't understand TikTok at all. I don't use it, so it's hard for me to understand it. I understand it by studying what I see that other people use, and because I understand YouTube and I study the other platforms as well. So, and the algorithms, like you said, they all end up functioning the same way because they're serving the same type of people, right? So what I said was this: yes, from what I see from YouTube Shorts also look for audience who is not your followers. They try to distribute to newer audience as opposed to your long form videos. Your long form videos are more distributed to your audience, and the shorts are more like a let's search for more people.
Exactly.
So
that's why you see such a volatility in the engagement rates of big accounts like mine. I might have a video with 5 million views, and then another one with 50,000, and then another one with 400,000, and then another one with 800,000, and then 50K, and then 11 million. The volatility is huge because of that, because I have new audience all the time. And at the same time, platforms like LinkedIn that hasn't yet introduced this feature, you see a way more consistent engagement in every post. Because, most of the times, the followers that have selected to engage with you, they will do it. Even if they don't even read their content because they like you, they like Konstantinos. Okay, well, let's put a like, right? And
Yeah.
you see all my posts on LinkedIn are 50, 60 likes, 70 likes, consistently. No volatility there. While even on YouTube right now, they have also introduced this kind of narrative and this kind of logic, especially in the short format. But you see that a lot. And I think that gradually now it starts normalizing because the math doesn't really work anymore. They cannot really do that for a lot of time. They cannot really do it for a limited time because the math between creators and attention doesn't really match. Especially because when this started going really wild was during the pandemic, when people were 5, 6 more times on their phone than they are now. That everything is open, they're out in the world, they do new things, they're not on their phone 12 hours per day.
Yeah.
So I think things will change in the next year.
Yeah, you think it's related to the percentage of creators and the percentage of consumers, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's a marketplace.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I like how you break things down and put it into perspective. But now on LinkedIn, we're seeing the exact same. Like LinkedIn people were growing really fast, like last year even and 2 years ago. And then all of a sudden we start to have more creators on the platform. So obviously, and everybody complains, oh, I have less impressions and my content is distributed less.
Yeah.
Well, there's more content to distribute and less people to see it. Well, there's more people to see it, but compared to the amount of content there is to distribute, LinkedIn doesn't need to show your content to everybody on the platform because there's other people doing similar content, right?
Exactly.
So now that they're bringing the video feed in, you would guess from what you're saying, I'd like to know from the moment that we all have access to that button that says, all right, access the video, whatever they call it, reels or whatever they want to call it, you'd guess that from that moment, those creating video would have access to a broader audience, right? It would be easier to grow faster.
I don't see any other way to do, any other reason to do it.
Right.
It's not just that because now you can post videos. I mean, they have that. They have already this feature. I think they're gonna copy the whole thing from the short video platforms. The speed, the seamless experience between jumping from one video to the other, entertaining yourself a bit more. Obviously, the narrative in LinkedIn will be different, so we will not see people dancing or making pranks. I guess you never know. Yeah. So. Probably, I'm hoping that it will stay within the logic of LinkedIn as a platform, professional stuff, business tips, but it will have the logic of the other platforms. That's what I'm expecting. I don't see any other reason why they should do it.
Yeah. So let's say you would advise I'm guessing you'd advise anybody to do it now, because I mean, even those who are thinking, oh yeah, Konstantinos, he took the right moment on TikTok and on Instagram. I mean, I'm guessing now is the time on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to have this fast growth, the only way to do it is through video. Because right now, the last 3-4 years, we're living the greatest opportunity in the history of the internet. As I say, that was my TEDx talk as well, a couple of years before. Because organic reach, it's cheaper than ever.
Yeah.
In marketing, the only currency is how much I pay and how much attention I get back. How much I pay and how much of a digital footprint I can acquire, like a digital real estate, right?
Yeah.
This difference between how much I pay and how much I get is the only thing that matters in marketing. And during the short video era, this transaction was crazy cheap for the people that would get, with 5 videos, get 50 million views. Only my videos on TikTok the last couple of years had 5 billion views. If you turn that into marketing money, it's millions.
Yeah.
And I didn't spend a dime, right? So that's how everybody knows me in the industry, through my short video. They know my face, they know my name, they've seen this guy with a hat and the Greek accent. That's how I got known in the industry.
Yeah.
I could never do that with marketing money. I don't have that money, right? So you cannot ignore this opportunity if you want to do this kind of, if you want to build a global personal brand or to get your voice out there, you need to jump on short video. There's no other way. And not in a faceless way. You need to put your face out there.
Yeah. That's really important. And I noticed even like big marketers who are all about advertising and who grew their businesses without through advertising, they are now moving a lot to organic content because advertising has become more and more expensive, and you just really need you mentioned this a lot in the beginning. You really need a personal brand right now. You really need to put yourself out there because yeah, you can sell a product through advertising, but one product that doesn't build a business, right?
Yeah,
So
for sure.
if you really want to be known, if you really want to be something in your industry, someone in your industry, you need to start creating content. And I agree with you, short form content might be the productive way to do so. I mean, there's a lot of people selling ghostwriting services on LinkedIn, and they love the writing. I mean, I love the writing. I am a writer myself, and most of my work is sales copywriting. So that's what I love doing, and that's why I feel comfortable. But I know video is the way, and I'm embracing video as well.
Yeah, I mean, again, like entrepreneurship is not for everyone, right? It's
Yeah.
not for everyone. And as I said before, when I saw that I could do that in video, I did it in video. So for me, it was way easier to create a short video than to create a carousel that I was trying to do for a year on Instagram. Some people are great in creating threads on Twitter or writing great text on LinkedIn. So, find your own skill set, find your own, edge and build on that and choose the platform that is more friendly towards the skill. So if you are a complete opposite to a video creator, don't try to become one, no matter what. If you're a great writer or if you have a natural ability to create beautiful threads and to hook people. But I don't see any other greater opportunity than short video, and still is quite big. Although we're living in the trend is really getting normalized as we speak. It's not at the peak that it was like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, but you do think that LinkedIn is still an opportunity there, right? Like they're
Absolutely.
bringing in the video, and you think that like whoever starts publishing short form video on LinkedIn right now will probably gonna have a bit of an edge against the others.
When it comes to business, there's no better platform, right? There's no better platform. All the decision makers are there. Not my mother is there. Not your aunt is there, right? Not your
Yeah.
daughter is there. So you see people that are all about business. They understand. They have roles. They are on LinkedIn to consume content, to create content, to find somebody, to hire somebody. So obviously, this is the best place to be business-wise. You don't have this kind of organic reach that we have in other platforms because of short video, but obviously they're getting there. So probably the opportunity for LinkedIn starts right now before
Yeah.
it becomes a bit obsolete, maybe, I don't know, in a couple of years. So all you got to do is be prepared.
Yeah. Yeah, you said something very important there. The numbers work differently on LinkedIn, right? Because it's what you said, like on TikTok, yeah, your daughter's there, your kids are there, there's a bunch of people who are never gonna buy anything from you, but they are followers. They're following you, they're
Yeah.
watching you. So those numbers are not the same as on LinkedIn. Most of the people who are actually following you or connecting with you on LinkedIn have some sort of business interest, right? So
Exactly.
that's really important on LinkedIn. Yeah, yeah.
That really gives you the more targeted the views are, the better the CPM is, let's say, in the world of marketing, right? The cost per mile.
Cost per mil.
So
Yeah.
advertisers love the consistency of the demographic for a video. But in short video, you can get a massive reach for wider topics, and that's can really get you great sponsorship money in many cases, right? Depends on what you want to do. Depends on what you want to achieve as a business, as a content creator, as a personal brand. It's all about what you want to achieve. It's not one size fits all. It's not the same strategy for everybody. And for every niche, you need to select a different mix of tools and choices to go faster to your
This has been amazing. I mean, you've shared tips here that people are not going to find anywhere else. I hope they pay attention. To wrap up, what's next for you?
We have something that we are trying to strategize right now. It's within the field of AI. We're trying to help companies in the AI field to do more things and to select, some companies that are really great in what they do and assist them even more. So we're trying to create something in this field. But in general, we're keep creating great content. YouTube is my focus this year. Long videos on YouTube. I really want to get to the 1 million mark within the next 2 years on YouTube, which is a completely different beast. YouTube is a completely different deep. You need
Yes.
way better production, way better value, different topics, way more experimentation, a team that can really support you only on YouTube. So I'm trying to learn as myself because I'm a student before everything else in everything I do, and I keep learning all the time. And then we're trying to help more people go faster when they want to go. Like two months ago, we launched a community, Simply Hustlers Tribe, which is, a selection of different people that want to get coached by me. Pretty much I listen to people, what they want. And that's how we really create different things in the different things that we do as a business, new business sectors, new products that we create because people are asking for that. And that's what I want to keep doing, being more useful for more people for the longest possible.
That's beautiful. I love it. We also have a little bit of a community here that we've already posted there. So it's a free community, although it's only exclusive for people who join us live. So if you are listening to us live, you'll find the link in the comments. Just you can join there. There's a few different experts in their fields who can help you with whatever needs you have. So you can join us there. Click the link there. We'll then welcome you there and help you with whatever you need. So feel free to ask your questions. With this being said, I'm guessing the community you just you launched is a paid community.
Yes, correct.
All right, and so it's for you to help people,
and that's because people appreciate some things way more when they're paid.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and I talk about that a lot. The value received is completely related to to how much you pay for it, actually.
Exactly.
So what can people expect from that community of yours?
We have a group call every month, which only by itself, it really, makes the monthly fee a joke for the amount of value they get out of the group call. They have endless Q&As with me. We're making, account reviews, so we see their videos. We're trying to put them accountable to come up with a plan to stick to that, to deliver what they promise. And only that, being their accountability partner is something that most people find very valuable because many people really get overwhelmed. They cannot really move on. They cannot really deliver what they promise to themselves. So we're a supporting group that really helps people go faster towards their goals.
And so what you do there is you help people build on social media.
Yeah, build a business, monetize their content, reach the following goal that they have in their mind, or make it more realistic for them based on where they are, what they do, on their needs. So it's a guidance overall into content creation, digital entrepreneurship, and money making through content.
Right. All right. And before so if you're watching this on Spotify or on YouTube, if you found value from this conversation, just make sure you let us know with a thumbs up, by following us, with a review on the podcast platform. Now, apart from the platform, Konstantinos, whoever wants to follow you, and I would advise that anybody follow you right now, especially as you say that your focus for the next couple of years is to grow your YouTube channel to 1 million. There's no better way to learn than to see it happening in front of your eyes. I have no doubt that you will achieve that. So I will be following closely. Those who want to follow you and who want to reach out to you, both, I would advise maybe LinkedIn and YouTube, because that's where you're putting your effort. But if you say YouTube, how can they reach you? How can they find you?
Well, if they go to any platform and search for Simply Digital, they're going to find me. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Threads, Facebook. It's not easy to miss it. So they can find that. On my Instagram DM, I'm quite responsive. So whatever they want, they can reach out to that or on LinkedIn, obviously. And we're always here to help and assist and inspire and learn from others as well.
Amazing. Darren, would you like to add anything or final words?
Just a quick question, really, just regarding the video content. The two types of video that I mostly see of yours on Instagram. This is just going to be a really quick one. So you've got a lot of ones where you don't speak; it's mainly captions and music, and another ones where you do actually talk. Which ones of those two perform best?
Well, in both cases, I had very viral videos. In both cases, the ones that I don't speak lately perform even better because they're shorter and they're using some training audios, and people love rewatching them to get the whole idea, because the shorter videos get normally more watch time because they're being repeated to have people see what they missed the first time. But in general, I have had videos that were like 2 minutes long and performed amazingly. I had 10 seconds videos that didn't perform. So there's no a guide that applies to everything. It's all about the content, what I present in this video. And if I'm valuable 90 seconds, this will perform great. If I'm valuable for 10 seconds, this will perform great. There's no specific trick, or it's not great to try to trick people into something like, I'll go too quick so you can repeat or whatever. Try to be valuable in whatever makes sense for your video. If you can say whatever you want to say in a shorter period, do it, because it really guides you as well to be more laser focused and precise in what you say. So yeah, that's all about that. As we said before, great hook, or over deliver the promise, and keep doing that as better as possible.
Yeah, I followed you for a long time on Instagram now, and that's obviously where I noticed your face when you connected on LinkedIn as well. So, like I've mentioned in DMs, I'll definitely be taking some inspiration from your content and try to somewhat move into that sort of deliverable rather than like carousels and stuff like. So, looking forward to seeing more of it.
Great. Thank you a lot. Thanks a lot, guys. Great live, great questions. I enjoyed that so much. And thanks for everybody, the people that managed to be here in this one.
Thank you so much. This has been very valuable, and looking forward to following the rest of your journey ahead. Thanks a lot, mate.
Thank you, guys. Thanks a lot.
Bye.